very much for this amazing amount of money that you've raised. This is not small. This is a large amount of money, and on behalf of Red Cross, I'm very humbled and very grateful to receive this money from your community, so thank you. I just want to let you know a little bit about what Red Cross is doing with the money that we're collecting and where this money will go in order to help people. So the Australian Red Cross started the Bushfire Relief Fund soon after the devastating fires happened across the country. Here in South Australia, we've been helping people in the Yorke Peninsula, on Kangaroo Island and in the hills. We've been there since the disasters have occurred in recovery centres, relief centres initially. Those relief centres are all now recovery centres, and those recovery centres will stay open for 6 to 12 months, and those are for the immediate relief of people's needs. When the disasters first occurred, we didn't really realise how big they would get. Sadly, they're the biggest bushfires that have ever occurred in one country in the world in living history. And that's a really sad thing, which means there's a lot of people that need our assistance. So when it first started, we were able to give each individual $2,000. Soon, because of generosity like yours, that increased to $5,000, and then $10,000. Now we're able to give every family $20,000 up front. So this is going to be half of that for one family. So if you're thinking about where this will go, that's where that will go. For those people who've lost loved ones, we also give an additional $20,000. We know that's never going to bring them back and it's never going to be enough, but it is something that might help them get through those initial stages of paying for funeral costs, legal costs and things like that. What happened with Red Cross is we got so much money so quickly that it almost overwhelmed us, and we didn't really know exactly how much to give to different things. So we brought in an international panel of people who are experts in disaster relief and people who've actually lived through bushfires, and they told us the best way to use that money. And if you just excuse me, it's on my phone, but this is how we're using the money. $50 million is supporting people whose homes were destroyed through those grants that I told. $10 million goes to structurally damaged homes but not completely destroyed homes. $1 million goes to those bereavement payments that I was telling you about if someone had died. $50,000 goes towards support for people who've been injured as a result of the bushfires. And there is actually quite a few of them, sadly, as people have stayed to defend their properties or have been heroes and helped other people. Also for those firefighters who've been injured in the line of duty as well, money will go towards them. $5 million of the money is going towards those relief centres that I told you about, to keep Red Cross people there and to help them assist people in the initial phases of the disaster. $42.5 million will be allocated for the next 3 to 5 years as people recover. Our experience in disaster relief is that a lot of money and a lot of well wishes are raised initially, and then when it's not in the news, when everybody goes back to normal, people's mental health and also their community health starts to take a dive. And that's when Red Cross is there. And we've committed to being in these communities for the next 3 to 5 years and ask them what we need to do to rebuild. Some of that is starting to occur now. Some of those priorities are starting to come to the forefront now. In Kangaroo Island, one of the biggest things that we're learning is people's psychological or mental health is really, really suffering. Kangaroo Island is a very isolated place, which means there's not many services there and there's not many people to help. So that's one of our biggest priorities at the moment, in getting people out there to help them support their mental health. We've just thrown in an international speaker to be able to go around the island and advise people about what to do in the wake of disasters. And all of this money goes towards helping do that. Red Cross has been on the ground since these disasters have occurred in the recovery centres. So the first thing that in the relief centres, and the first thing that we do is we help people to register so that they can find each other after a disaster. When disaster's happening, it's chaotic. Nobody knows where anybody is. And so when they come in, we register them. We then are able to find people and reunite people. And that's a really beautiful thing to be able to do in a bushfire situation. Then we offer psychological first aid. As people run from danger, They need somebody there to talk to comfort them and support them, and that's where Red Cross comes in. We're also there to help reach out to people as they go back to their homes and they start to discover what's actually occurred. Red Cross goes out to each of their homes and talks to them about what they might need, what is happening for them, and what can we do to link them in with other services. We're working closely with all the other services, Department of Health, the Army, all those services that have been there, and we will be there for the long term. It is no small thing to help people recover from this type of disaster. However, we couldn't do it without the help of the community. We don't have millions of dollars sitting in reserve that we could just call on so we could do this. People like yourselves and communities like you help us to be able to do this work. Please know that your money is going towards helping people. Please know that here in the distance, when you're nowhere near the fires, you have made a difference in somebody's life ongoing. And from my perspective, it's a very, very humbling thing to stand before communities and accept the money that you have raised. It's humbling because I know what it's going to do, and it's humbling because I know what it took you to put this money forward. So from Red Cross and from myself personally, I just want to say thank you so much for what you've done.